Hello.
Hello. How are you?
Not too bad. You're all right.
Yes, all right, thanks. Always just glad when the first person actually pops on and you're like, hooray, it's working.
I know I'm the last person to know anything that happens with these Zoom meetings or how they fucking work out. So
I know. It's just skills you need these days, sort of. You have to adapt, don't you?
no, that's it. Especially like I said with like I said, 2 years of shit. I guess. Yeah,
I know, for want of a better description, eh? Um,
that's it.
what have you done with your beard since? Have you shaved it all off and just kept a little?
I've no, well, no. I've always had that little bit. I'm just very scruffy tonight. I've literally just got me hat on and my hair. That's always been there.
It looks different. I don't know why. I thought there was more
I
here usually.
I think it's probably like I said, just me because I'm scruffed down. I think so. But no, I guess that's the usual shit, Nicky six beer shape.
Cool. I assume that young JJ will be joining us in a moment. I think he spread my message that I'd sent the link, so hopefully he's there.
Yeah, and I think he said when I last heard him, he said he was still busy listening to Nickelback.
Oh God, please say that's a joke.
Yeah,
Although they do
each
have a
their
new
own.
album
Hang on,
out.
let me. Oh, hang on a second. See if I can. Um, do, there we go. I've just messaged him now. Just see if he's
Oh, I
about.
was kind of doing a spot the difference. I thought he changed something, and I'm like, uh,
Oh no, no, no. I said, do it on the old mobile, so I don't know if it sort of fucked off previously or whatever.
uh,
Oh,
I have to do it with the backdrop, which is always just a kind of homage to who I'm talking to, but also because it blurs out the shit that lives in my bedroom behind us. So I
I
just have
know
to do that.
I'm currently my music room as it is and everything. Literally everything to this side of the room is just still a bomb site from after the weekend.
Yeah.
There's cases and guitars everywhere just from it's just been launched in it. So I can't be asked tidying.
You've got time, it's fine. You need just keep them
Oh
there. They're
yeah, I
not
know I've
going
got time.
anywhere.
It's been I've got time. It's just being bothered to do it at the same time. Yeah.
Do your guitars end up like covered in beer and all sorts of things after you tour and gig? Or are you
Oh
quite,
yeah,
yeah.
that's what I mean. That the one I like the main white one which I used the other week, the other night even
Uh-huh.
that hadn't been touched previously since we were last did a show in uh, September. And like I said, I think it's one of those where it's a particular hot and like sweaty, grimy one. So I did clean it down afterwards and everything. So it sort of got it was like really sort of crusty and a bit sort of like
Various
grubby to
DNA
say.
across it.
Yeah, to say it's white as well certainly doesn't help as well. But but no, I'm normally quite good at taking care of them when I'm in between gigs and stuff like that. I'm usually the one, like I said, after I've done the set, I'm usually there with bloody cloth and like cleaning
Ah,
it down and drying it off and stuff like that. So, because
yeah.
for one,
Oh,
because like I said, bass strings are fucking expensive as it is.
mm-hmm.
But yeah,
Yeah.
but then like I said, it's also just the habit of, like I said, I just get everything tidied up easy and. So I know once all my shit's packed away, I don't have to worry about it right at the end of the minute when I'm around to race to
Yeah.
get home and stuff.
Indeed. Oh, action. Oh, whoa. Mm-hmm. We can't hear you, but you look great.
Oh, is he here?
He's there.
Oh, there he is. You're on mute.
It's always quite funny that while you're on mute, you still talk. Oh, I'm on mute. Oh, right. I'll. We can't hear
you. For fuck's sake.
There's always one, and it was Jenna and the Spangles, just saying. I mean, I'd love to be IT support, but I really don't. There must be a button.
Come on, you hillbilly fuck.
Can we do it through sign language?
If you're on phone, pressing your thing, and there's a button on the bottom that says mute. I'm guessing press that or mute it, mate. Jesus.
I know. Not if you're on a phone or if you're on a computer, shake your head. Is that a phone?
Are you on the phone or are you on the computer?
I don't think there's anything that I can do. I have no idea. I think it must be something that... Oh.
How's that? Can you hear it now?
Oh, yes.
You're on twice now.
Right. No, I had to, apparently my PC settings meant I had to go into my fucking settings and do something bollocks. I don't know.
Oh, I tell you. Can you hear me? Because I kind of was fiddling about with mute now. I'm worried I've muted myself.
Yeah.
All right, sorry. That's good.
You're a Scottish lass. Of course we can hear you.
I know, you could hear me without the microphone, but that's just rude
like
to say
something. How do you get the funky background when I've got my curtains?
Well, I was just saying to Bertie, I have to do this because the rest of my room's a tip. But you can choose a wee background and have anything you like behind. So I've got the city Eds because I'm kind of sitting in the middle of it. Oh, how are you, JJ? Are you all right? Recovered?
I didn't have anything to recover from. I was recovering on Saturday from Friday. I Dennis on Friday.
Oh my gosh!
Well, I accidentally thought, right, well, we're going to be partying, and like, you know when you go to a festival and the Friday night, the first night, you tend to be like, yes, and then you wake up on the Saturday and go, no, I think I'll have a coffee, and like that was me on Saturday because I accidentally drank a bottle of Drambuie before we went out.
Accidentally. Mm-hmm.
It was only a wee bottle. It wasn't a big bottle. It was a little bottle. So, do you really appreciate the fact that Bertie and I have both gone to we both put hats on. I couldn't remember the word.
Yeah,
I do appreciate the hattage. It's very nice. But I also like that I can see a pretty guitar in the background.
It looks like. There are many guitars in the background. I've even cleaned up tonight, believe it or not.
I fucking am.
Not me, just the rest of the room.
Good. I like a bit of attention to detail. It's fine. It's good. And a good t-shirt.
Here's the irony of having no sound when literally it is like a really nice condenser mic. But like the PC, like 2 screens, excellent speakers, 2 sets of headphones, condenser mic, no video, so I can't use my PC for it.
Oh,
or I could have had the headphones on and looked all professional. And
you could have done. I've got my little in-eary things in just for that reason. I've also got a weird thing that when I move, it looks like I'm putting my arm out. It's not. I look as if I'm sitting like kind of really relaxed with my arm around something.
It looks like you're caught in some kind of temporal rift.
I think I am. I mean, the backdrop's good, but it's also quite odd because if you look at my head, it looks like it's pulsating. I don't think that's happening for real, but anyway.
It's like you have random arms just doing that.
That's Great. Professional to the last. That's me anyway.
Well,
Right,
I
so
think that suits us beautifully.
yes. Now I'm recording. Obviously, that is the point, but I don't know if it tells you that. Sometimes it announces it in case you think I'm
It
trying to
announces login.
good.
Yeah.
You are
Cool.
being recorded. Oh
Yeah.
shit. Okay. But this is just a cigarette, and this is just red wine. There's nothing bad going on here.
Red wine, oh dear, you make me jealous.
Oh, it's a nice Shiraz. I thought, you know.
It's quite wintry, nice and seasonal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Classic.
Yeah, that's your middle name, as we all know.
No, judge, but never mind. Even cooler.
Right, so I'll just record the whole thing. I can edit out any little sweary words or anything, and I'll probably put the full zoomy thing up at the end of.
My tripod's not behaving itself. Same problem as me. It just keeps like sort of deflating on a regular basis.
When you least want it to. All right. So
Got one of them
Exactly.
cheap ass like ring lights from B&M, and it's probably like it's probably the first time I've only ever used it as well. It's fucking great. Ooh,
the
can't
good
do
thing
that.
about it is we can see it reflecting in your
This
glasses.
is the first time we've done one together properly. Isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, my internet connection is unstable.
I think this is the first time. We've done an interview.
What, you two?
Your guests are unstable.
I know. Yeah, it seems to be working. No, it is. It's fine. I kind of have thought about doing this interview for all the time since I probably started doing this, and then just never did. Just ended up drinking with you and doing silly things like that instead of actually professional.
All the fun
sensibleness, all the fun stuff. I know, and this is fun once it's done. But I just always kind of am like, oh, when I think about doing it. Anyway, enough of that rubbish. Let's do the boring stuff. We need to do the terms and conditions and all the stuff. So the band, obviously, you two and Dennis and Dave, how did you get all together? Because I know you obviously your individual bands and previous things, but tell us what.
Well, we kind of started it. I think the pair of us. I was an ex-main. Me and Bertie were down outside, believe it or not, the cell where we were on Saturday, having a beer with a lassie called Holly. That used to be in, oh God, what were they called? Something Mammoth.
Is it Fuzzy Mammoth? Woolly Mammoth?
I want to say Woolly Mammoth, but I don't think it is. Anyway, she had a good voice. We were down there having a beer, and he got the call to go do the band on his T-shirt there, and he was sat there like, I think it was an AC/DC shirt, a Moorhead denim cut, black hair. I'm like, you're the exact opposite of Tiger Tails. Go and do it.
I know.
We were
as well.
Yeah, we were putting a band together at that point, and he got that call, and it was like, well, that's ruined then. And I'll give you a gap so you can edit that. And so he did that, and so up to the main grades, because I was having serious problems with my hands with this dequervins thing I've got. And I was going to quit everything. And then I got all my injections done. And then I could feel my hands again and form positions with them. So I kind of messaged him and went, I'm doing some demos. Do you want to play bass on them? I'm going to do a couple of Motorhead covers. Like I maybe do an EP, something like that, just for kind of fun. So I started doing them. But yeah, went, yeah, I'll do that. And so the very first song ever in the history of the City Kids was Killed by Death. And me and Stevie Pierce did all the lead guitar because I can't. And we kind of did this weird gothy sleaze rock duet thing. It is on the internet somewhere. And we kept some of his guitar and some of his vocals on the finished version when we did that we like. See, we've even got album titles we can't say on the air. Then I said to Barry, I went, I've got these other demos. I've got them kicking around. Some of them were going to be main grade songs. Some of them I've had for like 10 years. A couple of new ones. And he went, yeah, I'll do them all. So he did them all.
Yeah, because when you did that, I said that we had a bit of a lull with Tails and everything, so there wasn't as much activity going on either, because I think Jay's hearing had sort of gone down the pan at that point and everything. So like I said, you sort of messaging me was almost a bit of a blessing, because I said, "Oh, let's do these Motorhead songs." Yeah, why not? What I've got to lose and everything.
You've just done the Beth Blade album, haven't you? I think at that time.
You are.
Had you just done the Beth Blade album around that time? Can't have been far away.
I was doing a few shows with it, yeah. But like I said, I didn't play on the album.
Yeah, I thought you did.
No. I wish I did. Yeah. No, she's doing great job with it. But no, so I did that, and then like I said, you just messaged me, said, "Oh, there's more songs going about something. Let's just do that." So I thought, yeah, why the hell not?
Absolutely.
So then, all of a sudden, those songs became better because of this noisy bottom end at the bottom of it. And then I think I'd got a message in the February from Bobby, I think, and he just was like, "Oh, Psycho Babylon had they wanted a bass player. They just got a new EP together." And he'd sent me that, and I was like, "That's really good, actually. I really like this." So I went and started playing bass with them. Got us a couple of shows with Warrior Soul. I think we did Newcastle and a couple Ivory Blacks and Bannermans. We were kind of hanging out with them, and Dennis was there. And we make jokes about pies all the time. But because I'm Scottish and I couldn't get them down here, I got Edinburgh, straight down to Tesco's, 8 packets of Bell's pies. Mac and cheese, steak and gravy, and came up after our set, and Dennis, who I'd just met, although I knew who he was munching away on my pies, and I'm like, "They're my pies," and he was like, "Yeah, they're really nice," and I'm like, he went, and he'd already bought me amp for the tour. He went, "I'm going to owe you more beers now for the pies," and I was like, "Fancy doing some guitar solos for us?" Played a couple of songs. He was like, "Yeah, I'm in." And Dave had come over with Mikey Lawless for our show and then missed our set, which was hilarious. And then I said, "I've got some songs. You fancy playing on them?" By which point Dennis was on them. And we went to I think it's the last show later on the year at Brickyard for Mikey with Fallen Red and all them.
Yeah.
And we're chatting away to Dave, and I played him a couple, and he went, "Yeah, I'm in." And that was it. And it was, it started as not a vanity project, it was just like, I just want to do something kind of thing. And then I've got these guys, we were having all these discussions like, well, if you can't do it because you're doing that, we'll get so and so in, and it'll be like a big collective kind of thing.
Yeah.
Place.
There's always a good revolving door sort of idea. Like you said, like I always keep joking that we're like the Dead Daisies, but with absolutely no money whatsoever. But then, like you said, it's, but it was kind of like liberating to, like you said, even if we did sort of start doing these shows, then if, like I said, Dennis couldn't make it over with the travel stuff, especially like just post-COVID things as well. That sort of eliminated that. Or if I said I had Tails gig or Dennis had Warrior Soul or whatever.
Yeah, just slot you in and out as required.
Yeah.
We've done it on occasions, with guys like Dave Kerr, Andy Barrett, Rob Lane, the one time Berty got COVID. But when we did the album, once we put the album down, one of the things so many people said, we were like, we've never even been in the same room when this album came out, and nobody believed us. And it just had that vibe, and it was kind of. Then me, Bertie, and Dave had a couple of jams just to see if it was going to be a train wreck or not, and it wasn't. And it was like, oh, I think we've got something. And then we did Rock Manic with Dave Kerr, which is a cool show. But then, I think because Dennis couldn't get over because of all the travel rules. Then by the time we got to MoFest to do the first show, and we got the 4 of us, we jumped in a rehearsal room in Nottingham, which is still to this date the only rehearsal we've ever had as a band. And
that's 4 of us anyway. That's the first time that me and Dennis have been met as well. We'd never met since that point either.
And it just worked. And it was kind of, it's like, this is not like a collective thing. It's like if we've got something amazing, you know, like, then yeah, we'll get somebody in, but it wants to be this band because it's actually a band. It's not something else. And we've just got that vibe and we know we can do it. And then
we've seen you do it now.
Yeah, it's that point as well, like you said, with the things. If it's something really special, then if one of us can't do it or something like that, then we won't do it because, like I said, you know, doing it the four of us, it is what it is. If it's something along the lines of it's, you know, like I said, we've set it like a load of dates or something like that. Yeah, we might need to get someone in to sort of do it and everything like that. So it's good to have that sort of familiarity with not having to F around with having to get another person to learn stuff and try and see if it works with them as well.
Yeah, we've got a bunch of really cool people who are up for it as well, that's quite nice as well. I mean, because like he might smile a little bit, but it's like we had 3 or 4 offers for the bass player for Call of the Wild when we knew Berty couldn't do it, but we knew he couldn't do it pre-COVID because we knew he got COVID, but we also were planning on the fact that he had a couple of shows overseas with Tiger Tails, so we knew. So like, without naming names, we had a few people offer to play bass. It was just like, well, yeah, but it's Dirty Berty Burton. We've got to get somebody good. So you know,
but it's also the fact that but it was also the fact that I chose who we were going to have as well, which was quite because I thought, well, there's only one person I know who can probably. Yeah, that's what I mean. Because he's
if he'll do it.
Yeah, but he's stepped to me before when I used to like a Demon Speed show and everything, and I thought, well, I know he can play like me and stuff like that. So I know he says it's a bit taxing for him doing it that fast and that loud and everything, but it was, you know, it's good that I know, like I said, rather than thinking, oh God, they'll just find whoever. It's like, no, I know the one person that they'll get instead.
Yeah, that's nice. And I bet he was quite happy to be asked and quite an honour to have got that gig.
Oh yeah, he loves every opportunity he can get, I think, bless him. So I mean, like I said, he's the roster he's got, he's a name player and everything is so it's as much honour for us as it is for him.
Most bands ever. Yeah. He'll look at a list and go, have I played with this band yet? No. Right, I'm in.
Yeah.
But rivaling Ben Marsden for that.
Oh, he's fucking wonderful as well. Excuse the language. I'll do that again so you can keep it in. He's absolutely wonderful as well. But Lenny's a bit like Ben in the fact that, you know, we knew there was not going to be a rehearsal before the show. So you need somebody who is confident enough to just walk on stage and play.
Yeah, totally.
Which is worst case, I've got some crib sheets and I'll just lay them out if it needs be and everything. But as far, because the thing is, even I watched that particular gig because I was, like I said, just completely laid up in bed with COVID anyway. But I was lucky enough that Pip from South of Salem was there as well, and he was actually filming the whole of the set. So I thought, okay, he started thinking, oh, it could be good just to sort of catch a bit of a glimpse to see what it's like and everything. But he filmed the whole thing, and it was absolutely great. So, like I said, it sounded just like I said. It was weird watching because it's like, oh, so this is what we sound like collectively. But but no, but he did, yeah. But Laney did an absolutely fantastic job. But then, like I said, we know he was going to do anyway.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah, I mean, when Dennis came over in October for the first show for the Rockmantic one, it was like, right, I'm going to give Dave Kerr a shout because I know he's good, and I know if he says he'll do it, much like Laney, if he says he'll do it, he's going to turn up on the ball and be great. Apart from he turned up with a white T-shirt, which like clearly didn't get the memo, but you know,
white.
But as well, the other guy. And when Andy Barrett did the couple that Dennis couldn't get to either, it was kind of, you know, he's, apart from Dukes of Bordel, where he's got his Chrome Molly and all the other bands he used to be in, and he's a good friend, and he'll turn up and smoke it as well, and he did.
Awesome.
We're in a good place.
Yeah, absolutely. So, obviously, the new album, how are you with it? Are you happy? I mean, obviously, you're in that, I suppose, little kind of slightly down feeling thing, which always happens after you're promoting, and then you have the launch, and then it's kind of like, oh. But I've got to be proud of it. What, sorry?
Go Berty. I'm going to say, if anything, he's relieved. He's been doing all bloody groundwork for it and everything. He's been, like I said, due for arrest after it all. So, in fairness, like I said, he's been working his arse off for it and everything. So it's you know, so I know for a fact, more just so for JJ, it's you know, it's nice for him to sort of have an actual breather. And now it's done, because obviously we've been messaging about everything sort of leading up to it and everything. We've had bloody quabbles over the smallest things and stuff like that. Like I said, the smallest things, but like the most important things as well and everything. And it's, you know, there's been times where we've been, you know, we've come to agreements with things, and we're like, you know, both G's are like being on the same level, or we've got like conflicting ideas, but whilst they're being also on the same sort of level. But like I said, it is nice to sort of have it, without sounding horrible, put to bed, because we've been working on this stuff since end of 2020. Soon as we released Things That Never Were, we were pretty much straight onto recording these, because I remember just before the end of 2020 we were recording and demoing up songs for this one anyway, as far as, like I said, probably like right at the end of 2020.
Well, I mean, like we were in that lucky position that basically a week after Dave came out the studio doing the drum tracks for Things That Never Were, we went into lockdown. And we were already on the cycle to release the album. So it came out in the May, and we couldn't gig. We couldn't do anything. We couldn't get together and make videos. So like all the videos were done by Bill, our art guy over at Buffalo, New York way. And he did all the stuff for the main grounds as well, which is just the greatest art guy in the universe. And he comes up with all the marketing stuff. Because that's what he does. And that's his job. And it's been his job for about 50 years or something crazy like that. If I had to pay him, I couldn't afford him. Not in a million. So one thought, right, well, we're in lockdown and we can't tour. Oh, here's a song idea. We just started going. But I think the main difference with this one, well, there's a few differences, is since I think 6 songs from Things That Never Were would have been on in a very different fashion the second Main Grains album, if it ever happened.
Yeah.
Some of them were all demos, and like things like Best of You and Rats were brand new. But it was a case of I'd got all the songs, and as a couple of people like Berty and Dennis have said in interviews, they've gone, we just kind of did what was already there, but better. Whereas this one, I went, well, if everybody's joining in, I'm not going to go into the minute details of songs. If there's a place where I want it to stop, I'll do a stop on the demo. But it's just do it rough. Then we'll give it to Dave. Dave will put a beat down, quite often totally not what I was thinking. And then we'll send the rhythm stuff and the drums over to Berty, and he'll do something, and that means we change something else. So we did the process that bands do in a rehearsal room, using the technology to bounce the songs back and forward, and everybody doing stuff. And then, as much as it will make his beautiful Danish head swell, most of the time when Dennis gets round to putting what he thinks on it just grows into something completely different. And we had about 30 songs, I think, within 6 to 9 months of the first album coming out. We were going to go 12 and then realised that for some reason we've got some slightly longer songs. And I like to do an album where 1 to 5 or 1 to 6 and then 5 to 10 or 7 to 12. That's side 1, side 2, like, because I'm old and like records. And we couldn't fit 12 songs on a record. So we cut it down to 10. But I mean, we dropped a couple of the songs that were in that session. They were the extra songs on Rats. So we didn't waste them. And then we thought, well, we did the full That We Like cover thing as a bonus for the first album, because we thought value for money. It was like, well, we don't want to do covers. it's like we've got all these songs, and then so the 3 songs on Coda, Filth Coda, are pretty much 3 of the earliest songs we wrote for Filth, and they all work. They work quite well together, especially the first 2, and then we put the Super Sucker song, which again has a swear word in it that I'm not like to say, but it's pretty up. Yeah, and we just because we Super Sucker song in the first one, and then we did a couple of songs with Eddie, neither of which have made the album. One made the Motorhead EP, and when I was speaking away to him and at York, went to see him, and they did it, and it was like I'm messaging the band going, "Why on earth did we not do this one? It's entirely us."
Because in fairness, when we
threw it in the live set,
because when we originally did someday I Will Kill You on the It That We Like album,
yeah,
that was more like a throwaway thing, because I think it was, I just had like a playlist of stuff that I just like, or like I said, I've got like a get me going sort of playlist, and that just came on. It's always one of the songs that just always gets me G'd up, thinking this will be a really fun one to do. And it was literally just off the sake of, that could be cool to do, so we just did that.
Yeah.
But then, like you said,
none of us thought about pretty.
Yeah.
None of us thought about.
But then, like I said, pretty effed up. Like I said, we did that. It's like, this is a bit too good for us to be doing sort of things. Like how did this? Because we did the Wild Hearts cover Mazel Tov on that previous album as well. Yeah. Which was a good live stable for us as well, and we were playing that quite frequently. But then we went out doing the Nashville P shows.
We can't say anything.
We did the for social media purposes, the Bashful Puppy tour. So, because that's what they called themselves, and that. So doing the Bashful Puppy tour, we ended up, obviously, because we just always did Mazel Tov, because it went down well. We had a decent call response to it, but it was getting a bit sort of stale using it, and then we decided to start using the Pretty Effed Up one, and it just worked so much better with but it had that sort of still constant build up of energy, and then it explodes again, and it sort of comes back down, and then it sort of like rewinds itself, recharges itself, and then goes back onto the home straight. And it's an absolutely fantastic song. Like I said, if you'd have never known the Super Suckers had ever existed or even knew about them, we could have probably easily sort of stole that song for ourselves.
Adopted it.
Basically. So, but like I said, but Eddie is such a great songwriter and everything. It's we have to give him credit every time when we do it. So
yeah,
very well deserved.
He's a very cool guy, and he's obviously on the Motorhead one. We've got him on. Oh, do you want an exclusive?
Oh yeah,
of course.
Do you want to? Well, Filth is going to be a trilogy. You've got Filth, you've got Filth Coda, which was obviously the bonus disc, and I think next year when I've had a break, we're going to do more Filth. And there's a song that's really hard to discuss given the lack of swearing, but because somebody said about Rats and said, we wrote this really catchy number that everybody loves that will never get played on mainstream radio. And it was like, can I outdo that? And the answer was, yes, I can.
Of course you can.
There's a track called Dead to Me that's basically a duet with Eddie Spaghetti. And we made him say the C word in it. And it's like,
first thing is, it's one of those songs as well. I even suggested we need to do like a radio edit, but like a really blatant like radio edit where they like actually do like the bit like the TV beep censored. It's like you'd hear it very, very frequently. They just say that, and it sounded even funnier just hearing that on the radio. So
it would come out like the radio TV version of Gay Bar by Electric Six.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I can't wait then.
basically, we're just sort of like almost doing it off like how Wild Hearts did Renaissance Men and then into Diagnosis EP.
Yeah.
So it's basically, it was just a follow up from the album, really, wasn't it? So we're just sort of doing the extra. So, like I said, we could have fit a lot more onto Filth. We could have made it 12 songs. We could have done a 15-song album easily.
Yeah.
We could have done a Use Your Illusions, and it would have had less filler.
Yeah, but then, like I said, to what point do you like said you do get a big long sort of album sort of like roster, and you sort of lose a bit of focus? Like, yeah, there are some great songs and everything, but then when you start sort of going over into double digits, sometimes you get a band who's got like 15, 17 songs in an album. It's like, oh, okay,
yeah.
So unless they really are engaging, but then like I said, a nice sort of neat round 10 just sort of works really. I can't now listening to it because even like I said, I've listened to it so much on like repeat and stuff.
It's so
I can't imagine other songs being on it now.
No, it's so tight and so perfect that it's just what it needs to be.
Yeah.
I mean, this time like 6 months ago, maybe I'd have maybe think, oh, we could have added this and this and everything like that, because there are still a couple of songs on which will be coming out on More Filth, which I really looking forward to redoing as well.
I think one of my favorite tracks from the sessions didn't make the album or coda, which was Where Were You? I love that song. And it's like there was some songs that ended up in the album we never thought were gonna. I mean, things like you kept talking about Yesterday, and I never saw it until we finally got it where it is now. And it was all of a sudden, it was kind of like, yeah, that's a really good ending, actually. That's because
like I said, we had a list of about a good 20 songs. It's like, right, which do we sort of like, fine tune down to the ones we want on the album? So we had like a good sort of 5 or 6, which were like, definitely going to go on because we're already playing them live, weren't we?
Yeah.
So then, but it got to the point thinking, right, well, I really like this one and really like this one, but then JJ would more favour a couple of other ones and stuff like that. So even like
you wanted, because you never liked that until Dennis did his final bits.
Yeah, I said, you wanna on that album. When we ever played that live, I never vibed with it. There was just something about I can't even put my finger on it. There was something about it. I just couldn't put my finger on it or really sort of like G'd me up.
Yeah.
But then when we finally had more bits added to it and everything, we finally got it like released and like fitting on the album. It's like, oh, this actually sounds great. And now even like I said, the added things, I sort of changed up how I do things live as well, which is.
I appreciate from the launch show. I appreciate you doing the Andyisms on quite a few songs. They were brilliant.
Well, that's what I mean. Because I thought, well, it's I kind of had to now because they're on bloody record now. Everyone's listening to it. So, but no, but like I said, it was good having that. And like I said, we'll probably come back to him later on in this conversation. But like I said, but the inclusions that Andy did, we sort of did that little extra, cherry on top just to sort of, viv it up really.
I've said like a couple of interviews I've done, and people have asked about the difference. I said, well, the difference is the first album was very much me with a lot of shine on it, whereas Filth is definitely us.
Yeah.
It's a band thing, and everybody's contributed, done things, and it's like, why would you have so much talent in a band and then waste it? There's no point in doing that. Everybody's got ideas and everybody does their own thing, and usually better than me, let's be fair. So, that's why they're doing it.
I think, because I think with this one as well, and I've mentioned it to you before, I feel like this one could be more like the newest introduction to the band to people, because when we were doing all the live shows, a bit more towards at the tail end of us doing shows as of late, majority of songs were from Filth anyway. So when it came to obviously people coming up to the merch desk and asking, oh, what song, what album can I get which has these songs in it as well? You can't, because they've not been released yet.
Yeah.
Whereas we had like a good 50-50 vibe between Things and Filth.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like this could be a bit like I was trying to explain to someone else as well. Like this could be like some, to some people, like our first album. Like obviously, how some people will probably have like discovered a band on a certain album, but then knowing they've had an album, 2 albums before, even a bit like Tiger Tales. Like I said, people probably think Berserk is their first album because that's when they sort of got into like the top 40 with it and everything.
Yeah.
Yet they had Young and Crazy like years before with a completely different singer. But then, Pete, like I said, you've got a very small margin of people who were like completely sort of alien to that record in a sense and knew that, and then knew that other album, to then discover the older stuff and thinking, where the hell did this stuff come from and everything? So, but like I said, that's not.
I completely agree. The first album is me and some friends, and the second Filth is us.
Yeah,
that's how I view it. It's and I think it's so much better for it.
Even when you got really like sort of antsy about the fact you said, "I'm going to have to give you a writing credit now." I says, "Why?" I said, "No, because you changed one line in Should Have Been You for something." So.
And well, I was more antsy because you changed the line and it was better.
Wow.
And now you get 50p every time that song's played out.
If even that, Jesus.
You get my gratitude.
Excellent.
Go on. Do you want to ask another question?
No, not really. I don't really like doing the question thing. I just like letting people go. But I sometimes think I should really look and see what I plan to ask at any point. But it was more just because I was going to say, like, the sound obviously of the album, is it just kind of how you imagined it? I know you're saying there's some songs kind of don't make it, or maybe some songs kind of nearly make it and then you decide they don't sound right. So is it just exactly the right way it is?
Yeah. If I go into sound, because like I basically produced and mixed everything we've done apart from these Filth and Filth Coda, and I don't suck. I'm pretty good at it. I do this work for other people as well, so it's cool. But as it turns out, and it's right, it's like there is an awful lot to be said for getting fresh ears on it.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a little bit here, and Andy's been a mate of mine for years, and but the guy produces stuff like Status Quo, right? And I don't, so it's obvious that he has something really special, and he'd been to see us live as well, and that really helped. So he'd seen us live, and we got It Should Have Been You out. And the video, which was mainly a lot of footage from the Trillion show we did, because we had all of it, and Fuzz can do anything with anything. So we did that. That was my mix. The mix of the album's entirely different, but I've been on these songs for 2 years, and your kind of ears start to go numb, and you get a bit burnt out with it. And I was doing all the other things, so I'm talking to Andy, and I went, "Look. He was just, your mix is brilliant," and like down to really inane things like he goes, "I love the attack you have on the kick drum," and he went, "I don't really know what I could add to it, for what he costs to do it."
Yeah.
So I said, "Well, would you like if I send you the stems for It Should Have Been You? We've already done it as a single. And I'll Pepsi challenge the band, have a listen to these 2 mixes and tell me which one you like best." Like option A means my head just wells. And they like and I just go, "Yeah." I went, more realistically, option B is they're going to listen to that and go, "Holy hell, that's good."
Oh, that's how that should have sounded.
And then it's going to cost me. And, do you know what? It wasn't even close. It was it came back, and I messaged him back when he sent me the first mix, and I went, "How many harmonies did you add to that?" because the chorus sounded amazing. And he went, Nonny, it's all you. And I'm like, bloody hell, it didn't sound like that when I did it. And then he added little reflections, like at the end of the chorus when you say it should have been you. He goes, should have been, and things like that, which was still odd. But he just did something cool, and you could hear the honky-tonk piano in the background, and it just sounded great.
Yeah.
He did me a beautiful mate's rates deal for it. But I sent him all the songs. He starts doing it. All the guys are going, bloody hell. So sound-wise, it was kind of like, I kind of thought he would add maybe 10% sparkle to what I'd done, and it was way more than that. But there was things like when I was saying about Burnout on Something Faster on the second verse, he went, because I said, if you hear a harmony or an instrument that should be there, because he has, I went, just do it. We could always take it back out if we don't like it. But there was this harmony on the second verse. Oh, there's a harmony on Should Have Been You that she did on the second and the last bridges. And one on Something Faster, I'm like, how in the hell did I miss that? It's so obvious that it should have been there. And he added the piano to Ghosts as well, which totally transformed, made it sound incredible. And some of the backing vocals and the refrain. But he said that me, Berty and Dennis, our vocals, we meshed so well, especially live, that all he did really was accent it. I think my favourite thing that he did something on Self-Righteous. And if you listen on second chorus onwards, it sounds like there's a keyboard just on the first note of the chorus. And it's not. It's a low backing vocal, ooh. Oh, it's like, oh, it's so nice. I was like, oh. And yeah, he did a lot of that. But I mean, we had the reason Coda was mixed and mastered. We got Dave Draper to master it because Dave Draper mastering is beyond ridiculous.
It's just Dave Draper, yeah.
I've done that since the main grains on pretty much everything I do, apart from our Motorhead album, which is the only one he hasn't done, the EP. So he mastered that, and I just said, look, would you be up for stem mixing 4 tracks for the bonus disc? And, you know, he went, I think it would take me about a day. This is my day rate. And I'm like, yeah, let's do this. And he goes, are you really precious about the snare drum sound? And I went, I'm not precious about anything. That's all dry. Do what you want. I know you know me. So do what you want. And it's pretty badass. The other thing about the sound as well is one of the tracks on Coda, and I know you heard it because I know I sent it to you, didn't I?
Yeah.
There's a track called Missing on Coda, that was one of the earliest tracks we ever did for FILTH. And the chorus was a killer. Yeah, the music was great. But I was never happy with the verses. And I was chatting away to Dev Crawford, who I know you interviewed.
Yes, indeed.
The Punishment essay chap, and I love what he does.
Yeah.
And I just kind of went, I've listened to this song. Do you fancy doing the lead vocals on it? This is also how we got, why we got Billy on Rats. When we did Rats the first time, I was just kind of going, yeah, it sounds good with me doing it. I went, but it's not enough venom, and I don't know why. Oh, Billy T would be excellent in Black Bullets before the notes. And Billy, and he just went, oh, yeah. And he did it, and it was like, yep. I sent this to Dev, got his rough mix back from it, put it in the band group chat with the rest of them. They all just went, oh, shit, that sounds good.
Yeah. Like a proper like Guns N' Roses vibe to it after that, wasn't it?
All right.
Yeah. And it was just, he slightly tweaked how he sang, how the verses were sung, changed a couple of lyrics, and I'm just kind of like, so fuck, I've got to give you a cut. I went, damn, I've got to give you a co-writing credit on this because you changed half a verse, and it's so good. He was telling me about his gas master distortion microphone and stuff, but it's just brilliant, and it's kind of like that's how the song should have sounded.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it's almost like it's not a City Kids song at the same time, but it works. Like, so it's got It's got
It's
a
not-
distinct sort of musicality to it, but then you've just got some other sort of, you know, just person who's just literally stepped in, doing their own thing vocally and everything, and it works.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
it sounds like I wanted it to sound when it was in my head when I was writing it.
Amazing.
I'm kind of on that place where I'm not precious about it. If somebody else can sing it better than me, they should sing it. And that's what we've got. The next one that Mr. Berty there is, he's got a lead vocal on that one.
Cool.
Yeah.
Had little bits like, you know, he's got the bridges and Self-Righteous and things like that, and he does awesome things. And we were doing, it's a track called Gone, and I couldn't do it. He needs to redo it because it's not as good as it could be, but it is going to be better than if I was singing it. So
yeah, because the thing is, because it was a good contender. Yeah, it was a good contender to be on Filth, but the song was too. I think it was also a bit too sort of similar to the actual title track as well.
Right.
So it sort of maybe clashed a little bit to that sense. So to do this, like I said, on what we were planning to do, more Filth, would definitely work out in a more standalone track. It's one of those songs when he, like, even like the earliest version, I was always campaigning thinking, right, don't add any more extra to this other than bare bones. Otherwise, you're gonna, you know, lose the sort of like punch to it sometimes. Because it's always, like I said, good. Like I said, adding all the extra stuff on top of stuff as well.
Yeah.
Because then my only, and I don't even want to say this, like I said, I was going to say my only critique to the album, but it's not even a critique in a sense. But like I said, in comparison to say Things That Never Were, this album in the whole is like a lot cleaner. It's a lot sort of, like I said, it's definitely a lot more polished and everything. But that's, you know, but like I said, that's not a bad thing at all.
No.
Like I said, it's a very good standalone album. And even like I said, if you listen to both this album and the last album on a playlist, regardless of how it's mixed or something, you know, like I said, to the untrained ear, to anyone who's never heard the band before, could probably not really sort of differentiate what songs from what album and so forth and everything. But knowing what we're like, and like, you know, what kind of ruckus we make, like I said, like, you know, with noise and everything, it's like thinking, because that's the thing I really liked about the first album. Because I know, like I said, like JJ said, it was all pretty much his songs and everything. We sort of did our own thing about it. But the beauty of it, there's even things I listened to it thinking, yeah, there is bits where we've fluffed up on it a little bit here, or maybe a little bit of drums out here, or I like slip on the bass run or something like that. But then you've got to consider that we've all recorded this literally at home and everything, like I said, but it's also got that sort of like rough around the edges sort of thing, almost like you could pick the CD up and you could nick your hand on it sort of thing, which I really like about it. But then the new one is, like I said, it's got that bit nicer sheen where, you know, you can even say, oh, the kids have grown up a bit, and it's, you know, but but like I said, but it's, you know, but then it is showing that progression from first to second album as well, sort of thing. So it's like, it's what you already recognise from, you know, from what we've done before, but then it's, you know, it's showing a bit, you know, a bit more to flex our sort of creative muscles. Like I said, like obviously the one track that gets picked up more so than anything is Something Faster, which is our only sort of like slow song.
130 BPM ballad. Yeah.
Yeah, because we because I said most things we do is to a pace, and like I said, even to the point where it's towards the end of the set, I'm absolutely knackered and everything from doing it at said pace. And when we, like I said, and we slowly introduce Something Faster into the set as well, and it is like a nice, powerful pace as well, because it's got like a nice drone to it, but also very hard hitting as well at the same time.
Yeah.
I think the album's way more drawn up. But I think on I hate this interview because I'm agreeing with everything he says.
Yeah.
That's not very rock and roll, is it?
No, it's not very us either. But I just think, I don't know. I think because the bit that sounds cocky, I think, but it's true, is it's supposed to be the difficult second album, and it wasn't. It was easier than the first album.
Yeah.
And I think it's because we got used to each other. I'm of the opinion that I can write a pretty good chorus. I've got the guys in the band who they're just going to slay everything, and then we're going to, and you've got guys like Dennis. Dennis's guitar work is insane. I'd be like, because I've been in a band with Ben. I've jammed some music from Silverjet. He's a great guitarist. I've been in a load of great guitarists, and Dennis is just insane, annoying. It's really hard to learn as well because he's left-handed. So for things
of course.
for things like Self-Righteous with the dual guitar solo that I have to play, he's showing me, but it's backwards. And I'm just getting confused.
Yeah.
But I agree with everything Bertie just said, which is quite hot.
What he said, basically, yeah.
For him is very, very infuriating. I can only assume.
Yeah, I think it benefits from it being I made a joke because it used to be all about me, and I'm like, I don't want it to be all about me. I mean, I hadn't fronted a band for years, so I had like no confidence when we started. I think you can hear that in the vocals between things that never were in Filth. When I'm Filth, I'm far more comfortable with what I'm doing, and it's like there's notes I know I can hit, but I didn't even try on the first album.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, I know I can hit them, so I'm going to hit them. That was cool.
Because even like I said with the second album, because like even we said we're not going to rush this because we know the songs are good. We're gonna release it when we're ready. And even we boldly said, or I boldly said because I was handling the bloody social media at the time. I said, "Oh yeah, it's coming out early 2022." How bloody wrong we were. So, but like you said, we could have easily had it ready for like you said February, March this year. We could have probably had it done by the end of summer, but
we could have had it done 6 months after the first one came out because we couldn't do anything else. But it was kind of, I think we made that decision. It was like, no, let's get out there, get on some stages and do some shows and become a real band and a studio project, which is why, well, Rats, the album EP, like it's an ironic twist on the old split EPs you used to get from bands with 2 songs on each side, and I loved them. I used to buy so many of them. So what we did was a combined EP with 9 songs and a bonus track, and just thought, well, that'll be fun. But part of it, Rats kind of wanted to re-record because the way I did the drums, I kind of copped them up on the album, and David done some cool accents that nobody could hear, so we fixed that. Round and around, when we got to the album, Billy T had actually done the second verse, but then I asked Cody Clark if he'd do it. He went, "Yeah, man, I'm in there," and he just, so he did it. It's like, "Billy, you've been bumped. I'm sorry." So we just thought, it's really good, but we only ever had a demo of it, so let's do that again. We threw a couple of the new songs in from the sessions that became Filth, and I was just kind of like, I really like Suicide Note, Smoke It Like a Cigarette. Let's cover that. But then I couldn't sing it properly, so I could do about the first 3 lines of the song really well, then it went wrong. So we just got Billy to sing it, and I think Alex did the solo. Then they went, "Can we do Bathroom Wall?" And obviously Alex and I and Dame were doing the Anti-Fashion Social Distortions album, mainly to prove that I didn't sound like Mike Ness, and failed massively on that. So we just went, well, Bad Luck hasn't made that album. Let's us do that one. Department of Youth, which was insane but worked so well. And we just kind of went, well, there's 9 songs now. But we'd already demoed Blackout in the Red Room. And Dennis just went, we can't do it live because I blacked out literally twice trying to sing it. It was great. So we just went, well, that's your download bonus if you get it. But the original plan was a Berty idea, and we were going to do a video for Rats. But lockdown, and Billy has health issues as well, same as I. So it wasn't safe to do it anyway. So, but the original plan, what was it, like a sort of backyard babies?
My idea was it was to do I don't know if it had even been done before, and it's really annoying because I have seen the video of recently for whatever band, and they have done this same idea where it's like a band versus band thing, and they're literally playing sort of like face to face to each other, and like, you know, so it would have been a full. So I even envisioned it to the full sort of extent of being in whatever, you know, the location the video was going to be. Like I said, if it was like a rehearsal studio or something like that, and I just like, you know, when you got like your cinematic sort of like vision on, and I could just see, like I said, just like, you know, from a back view of just like JJ walking into this room, but then Billy sort of like comes in, just sort of like jams, and they both sort of jam themselves in between the doors, sort of thing, thinking, what the hell are you doing here? And then it was just like rip roaring to, like I said, both bands, but like, you know, full band, full backline, guitars, amps, drums, and everything, like literally like playing like right in front of each other, sort of like competitively, a bit like the band versus band bit in the Scott Pilgrim versus the World sort of thing, almost a little bit like that as well. But like I said, logistically, and obviously with lockdowns, we couldn't really do that. Or when we could do it, by the time it got around to doing it, it'd have been like far too late to have really sort of done something. Yeah. And that's to promote something which is almost 2 years old in a sense.
Yeah.
But it would have been something like really, you know, fun to have done as well, sort of thing. Like when we do, like, you know, when we recently did the photo shoot, the promo stuff and everything. One of the main images that we've got, which was like on the poster for the gig that we did for the album launch, is like the one where we do like a fist fight with each other. Thinking, you've got all the bands in the world and everything. They're all doing photo shoots and everything. They're all standing like in a line and everything, trying to be serious and just so like that and everything. And I thought, we're like the complete sort of opposite of that and everything. We're not, you know, one of these sort of, you know, posery bands trying to get as much attention like that and everything. So I thought, let's just do something completely stupid. So I just like the idea of us being like the, you know, like the Bash Street kids of, you know, of like the underground rock scene sort of thing.
Yeah.
I thought, right, if I grab you and everything and grab you in a headlock or something, and then you're making a swing at Dennis and everything and whatnot, and Dave's elbowing you in the ribs and sort of thing. I thought it was just like, even like there's like an outtake photo where it's just all us stamping on Dave and everything. But like I said, it's it's showing the sort of our sort of mentality for the band and everything, for you know, not taking ourselves seriously and stuff like that. So
totally.
We are actually really, really hard. So, you know, we don't have to pretend.
Yeah.
But there was the other one, wasn't there, when we were all laid out unconscious grass? Yeah. There was another one, and Lindsay said to me, she went, when she saw the picture, I'm just sat there going, And all like doing sort there. And Lindsay went, why has Dennis got his top off? And I'm like, why are you asking if why his top's off when he's in a shopping trolley?
Yeah.
But I think you're right. I mean, like, because we got, obviously, because of all of our backgrounds, and it was you that came up with this as well, Mr. B, because everybody's going, this supergroup, and like, that's so flattering, but we can't take it seriously. And he comes out with, if you bought one off Wish, you know, and I think
pound shop supergroup.
Yeah,
we better live up to that, because I mean, it's almost serious, but I mean, like, as you know, I mean, because you came to the album launch, didn't you?
Yeah.
So what we do is, do you remember those days when you've got bands who they either have crap bands on before them, or mess with their sound so they sound better and all that. You know, like I always, and we're like we know how much we're charging for our shows. We think it's deserved basically on our own back, right? But we're going to make this so worthwhile. And I mean, like She-Bells Red, Scottish brother,
of course.
They're a fantastic band. They're absolutely on it, and they're so good, and we know they're so good.
Yeah.
Enemies Rose are a young, up-and-coming, hungry band. They're doing well too.
Yeah.
So give them long sets, and you put them on before you. And you know, like, oh, we're going to have to work now. And I followed us. He's followed us from the start and me from the main grounds, and he caught me just after She-Bells Red finished and went, I'll edit it. He went, how in the hell are you going to follow that? Like this?
Yeah.
It makes you work harder, and it makes us, we don't become complacent then. And we think that if you come and see us, you know it's going to be value for money because you're going to get a great show with great bands. I was so chuffed that it was like 7:10, 10 minutes after doors, and it was mobbed.
Yeah.
And the first
it was great.
When I saw the lads from Venomous Rose afterwards, they went, bloody hell, we didn't expect it to be that full.
Yeah.
It was very impressive.
Oh, it was brilliant. It was just everything we wanted it to be.
Yeah.
It was absolutely wonderful for me.
And it was a really good atmosphere as well. Like, it was just a big sort of loving, you know, because everybody was so excited for it, and it just paid off, you know.
Yeah, it was just a party there, wasn't it? Like I said, that's what we wanted to do. We wanted everyone to come down. And like I said, we were celebrating obviously this album coming out and everything, but at the same time, I always have that lemon mentality as well. So I always, like I said, when people come speak to us afterwards, it's like, do you enjoy it? I says, yeah. I says, oh. I said, well, you know, I enjoyed it, so I hope, you know, so I hope you did. So if I enjoy it, you should enjoy it. Like when he does the set list, he always said, oh, you know, I'll play this and this song or something. So I'm not going to play the songs they want to listen to. I'm going to play the songs I want to listen to, because if I like it, you're going to like it.
Yeah. No, it was absolutely brilliant.
I have my ethos on a gig, and somebody said this, I think it was after one of the Trillion shows, so somebody just went, if you don't leave a city gig with a smile on your face when you're even there.
Yeah.
What I want, because, you know, life is hard, times are hard. If you're going to spend your hard-earned pittance to come and see us, it's our duty to make you have a great. You have to have a brilliant night and go home smiling, because it's the thing. I mean, like you see things from so many different bands, and the most important people, if you're in a band, they're the ones buying the tickets, the CDs, and coming to the shows. If you don't have that, you're sat in your bedroom playing guitar, and that's it. So if you must treasure them. And I think I always said, I reckon the reason that we did really well, if you skip the supergroup crap, is because we're all the guys in the bands, the other bands that we've been in, that before and after we played are still in the crowd, having a drink with people, having a laugh, and it's never changed.
Yeah.
And it never will change. I mean, like, I want you to leave me alone for the guys know that. I want to be left alone for maybe half an hour before we play. So just so I can chill and get in the mood and be, right, I'm on it. Which never usually happens, but it really did on Saturday. That's my favourite show we've done. And we've done way bigger shows than that.
Yeah. And I
loved that. And I was in such a good place walking on stage that it was wonderful.
And I have to say as well, off the back of that, you've got to consider that particular weekend, there's rail strikes going on. We're going through a cost of living crisis, and you know, and a lot of people, like I said, come from further afield, and it just being before Christmas as well. So we know a lot of people have got money. So when we've got people that we know personally have travelled, like I said, like yourself, of course, you know, travelled a long distance to come and see us just for this one gig. You know, you could have had anything else going on at that time and everything, like I said, closer to you, something like that. Like I said, but you know, we know plenty of our, but then we're seeing people coming through the doors. It's like, oh, you're here and everything, and you're
Yeah.
thinking, but we know full well,
Yeah.
Dave, you guys have come from such a distance to come see us as well, where you could easily go, no, you know what, I'll wait until you're next in town and everything. So that alone is very humbling for us too as well. So, because I mean, for you could just easily, just go and watch sink money and watch another shite cover band again. So
People are
exactly.
So the people of where's the camera? The people of that 5-letter group. It's just we're not a cover band, so you can send to that as well. So
yeah, I mean, I think the response to us, humbling is the right word. I think it's been incredible. It continues to be incredible, and we had no expectations really. We kind of thought we had some good songs, and we thought we were decent people. We thought we had good songs. We hoped people would like it, but the response is insane, and you just completely humbled by it all. And never take it for granted, and never take people for granted. But we feel I think I can royal we feel a duty to entertain you when you come and see us, and we feel a duty to put out the best records we can possibly put out. And we also feel a duty. I mean, of the Hideout, I love the interaction we have with people, where you see lots of bands and they're all standoffish, and they're far too good to talk to you and interact and things like that. Where we're not. We're just the same as you. We've just got better guitars or something like that. I don't know, but we're just in that privileged position.
Cheap. My poor guitars.
Okay, you accept it because you've got some really pretty guitars, but we've got some nice ones apart from Adult, of course.
The bloody boat or
we'll I don't think we'll ever take it for granted. And me personally, it's like I always want to do the best. I did an interview the other day, and one of the questions, it was a belter. It was like, do you feel your success? What is success? And I just kind of went, well, if something I sing about or say about on stage makes someone feel good, it only has to be one person. That's a success.
Yeah.
Like, you've emotionally helped somebody. That's incredible. And to me, that's it. Money doesn't matter. Fame, money, well, it does if you're hungry. But, fame is, I'm of that age where fame used to be a byproduct of being very, very good at something. And for me, that will always be the case. And, I get lots of bands I know that go, oh, JJ, you coming out of the show? We'll guest list you. I'm like, it's a $5 a ticket, mate. Why would you guest list me? I'll pay.
I know.
I think, and it's like, I want you to pay when you come and see me.
Yeah.
So why do I not pay to come and see you? I mean, that's what you do, isn't it? And I'll buy some merch.
Yeah.
If I like it, and I don't, the closest to a freebie is if it's somebody in another band is, do you want to do t-shirt swapsies or album swaps?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
yeah.
I mean, I'm tight. I don't really do guest lists, but if I did, and when I do, it's the people I've watched follow bands everywhere, and especially when I did the Main Grains, we did the big Wild Arts tour. We had 10 guest lists every night. So apart from Newcastle, when everybody on the guest list was called McCormack, we it was like shout out. I'm sure Berty knows him. Colin Granger, right? Absolute diamond from the northeast, right? Follows bands all around the country. I said, are you coming to any of the Wild Arts shows? He was, can't really afford it, mate. I went, well, which one's close? Do you want to come to Riverside? Aye. And I went, look, on the door, you and your missus, you got guest list. Why? Because you'd never asked me for one.
Yeah.
And he was like, seriously? And I love people like that. I got, remember, oh shit, what was the Blacklist Sage, Tommy Crisis?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He messaged me at 6 o'clock when we were playing Wolverhampton Civic Hall on that tour. And he says, "Are there any tickets left?" I went, "I can get out, mate. Do you want a guestie? Are you coming with anyone?" He went, "No, just me." He went, I'll buy merch." I went, "If you want." And then I saw him at the show, and he came bombing up to me wearing a Main Range t-shirt with a CD in hand and going, "I told you." I'm like, "Oh, fucking But it's people like that, do you know what I mean? I bought your t-shirt, didn't I?
Yeah. That is
Really?
correct. You have one of the very small, darker clouds limited edition.
Yeah, I do.
That's right. And I've got a few of yours, so you see, it's all good.
Yeah, you need to release some more and make your money back, don't you?
Oh, no. I've got no time to do any of that now because I'm too busy blooming doing all this stuff.
I'll tell you.
That's fine.
I'm loving this week. It was like, I thought, right, I've done everything. And it was like, oh, God, I've got an interview to do. Oh, bugger. Oh, well, that'll be fine.
I know. And I'm taking up far too long as well, but I'm blaming you two because, you know, you're blethers, but that's fine. That's good.
It's all him.
Just
do that long to get round to doing this interview that we've got so much to say. That's what it is.
I know.
If
Get our
anything's
money's
more your
worth.
fault, you should have known this by now.
Come on, more questions.
Well, I was just going to say for next year and sort of like going forward, what's happening? Is there anything sort of in the definites at the minute?
Yeah.
What did I do to my computer? Is
There
it
you
still
go.
working?
Yeah.
Just
That's
yanked my microphone a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah, good. Nothing you can disclose, which is fine.
That's the other band.
Yeah. I am this time next week I'll be in hospital getting my hernias fixed because I knew I had one, which makes me look like I've got boobs on my belly and makes me look fatter than I am because you know when your t-shirt hangs down but it's not really you, right? But when I went for my scan, it turns out I've got a bonus one lower down. So I'm in next Tuesday having them fixed. And then I'm going to chill out. Then we're going to have some Christmas time because I think we deserve it. I know he says I do so much, but all the guys in the band do stuff. We're all, like Berty's the social media king. So
as far as that.
And then we're going to, we've got March when Dennis is out with Sherry Curry. So we'll probably record an album without him. But no, I mean, we've got, what have we got? We've got a couple of shows in already. We're doing a show with the Suicide Note and also Venomous Rose again, which was the first one we booked with them in July. We're doing my two favourite times of Newcastle and Edinburgh, middle of June.
Couple of Hard Rock Hell shows.
The Hard Rock Hell road trip in Ibiza, that'll be interesting. We're on a bill with Joel and Turner and Girls School. That's kind of cool.
Awesome.
I believe we're doing MoFest again, which was our first ever show 2 years ago as the original. But in between that, we're going to look at and I'm speaking to a number of booking agents and things because I want to be lazy and I want to not be the guy with the spreadsheet at every gig. I'd like to kind of maybe diva up a bit and go, hey, I'm in a band. So we're looking at we're looking at growing the team, so people that will help us out, and that's part of the reason Pip from South of Sale was up at that show because he's joined in as part of the team since the poor bugger can't really play drums anymore. So, and we love him to bits. So, yeah, he's part of that. But then we'll look at.
I'm really glad you mentioned him. No, I was just going to say, I've got Pip on Facebook and see all night when everybody kept talking about him, I was like, I can't remember what band he was in and I couldn't place it at all till you just said it. And that made it all good because I was really getting annoyed.
Well, we got back together again, as it were, maybe like a year ago at Rockmantic. And we've been chatting away and like we're trying to figure out when we first met but obviously we both had colourful lifestyles, shall we say. So the memories are not quite what they were. We've gone back at least 15 years, and we've known each other for a long time. But I know he was in the Defiled before the guy who was now the drummer in Brickyard Bandits, which is where I know the drummer from Brickyard Bandits. Defiled all those years ago. So yeah, we're just find cool people like that to join the team and help us out, and just kind of do what we need, where we maybe fail in many ways, because I spread myself so thin that you could end up with a crap service. I don't like that. So, I mean, it's like when most of our is an auto-fulfillment print-on-demand service where it all comes out to you wherever you are in the world, and I don't have to think about it. And we don't really make anything off of it, a quid, maybe two. But it doesn't matter when people rock up at your shows wearing your shirt and things, and you're like, that's so cool.
Even better when they're rocking up to shows where you're not playing it. Yeah.
And you get the representing. That's so cool. Yeah. I mean, we love all this stuff, and we are going to look to try and do a proper run of shows with some pretty cool venues with, of course, some very cool friends, which we want if we do when we do another tour next year, we want to deliver, and we want it to, when you look at the lineup, go or words to that effect, and go right. And we want to, if we're in a position, we want to help all our friends get more eyes on them, do that kind of thing, and just it's because that's your duty. People open doors for us over the years. We've kicked them through and run with it. So surely your duty is to do that for other people. It's like Seaburns Red didn't need it. I was absolutely honoured those buggers came and played with us because I know how good they are. Venomous Rose are very new, well, a lot of potential. So it's like, let us get some. And I've seen so many comments from people online about, never heard of you, you're right good, we'll come and see you again. That's what you want. Like that's your duty, because I'm 50 next year. So I ain't no spring chicken, do you know what I mean? And like I want to get, I know that's about 20, as much help as I never had when I was about 20, and I think it's a cool thing if you can help people, you help people. And not that it's not a competition, because I want to be better than them, but I want to.
Yeah, of course, but
hits and like them all. Like you see a band. I'll tell you who I saw, and that blew my mind was Shape of Water. Became friends with them. They're like nothing I've ever seen before.
Oh yeah, I saw them at Leicester, I think, or something.
Carlisle, I think. Rockmantic. They were at one of the Rockmantic. Seen them a couple.
Oh yes, it was. It was Rockmantic. Yes, it was.
They're just so different and so talented and so awesome. It's like, can we help you? Can we do something? I mean, like, we're so lucky. Like, you look at if we reeled off the names of the bands that said they wanted to come out and tour with us, it's crackers. Like, it's really crackers. And you're kind of going, cool. I think when I was at the Crazy Cowboy Festival in October, I kind of went to see Spike because I haven't seen him since 2008. We chatted away. But I was speaking to the lads from the Royal Beggars from Sweden. My God, they're good. They're like a modern Dogs D'Amour. Incredible. Right? But I was guys from Dax and Roxanne, and they were like, yeah, we should go and tour. And I'm like, what, you want to come out with us? And they were like, yeah. And it was like, sweet. Well, that would add some value, wouldn't it? You know what I mean? But I want every band on the bill to be worthy of playing anywhere on the bill. I mean, if it's our tour, we'll play last. But, you know, but you want that. I mean, hey, what would you, if you saw a poster with us plus Dax and Roxanne plus somebody else, would you go?
What should we have that night?
Berty would go.
I'd have to say, wouldn't I? I'd have to say, Buggy, you can't play any tonight.
Yeah. Like, I think they're great. They don't do what we do, much like She-Bounce Red don't do what we do, but it works. And I
well,
think
you need a little bit of variation on the build as well. There's no point, you know.
Yeah, you do. Not to the point where you've got like an indie band, a death metal band, and a punk band. That would be stupid. But
no.
But I think part of what we're doing and part of what Filth shows is that we're not, for want of a better word, we're not Mengrain's Part 2.
Yeah. Because
I've been getting stroppy about people calling it punk bands. Because I'm like, no, we're more than that. We're definitely more than that. And it's like, we're a rock and roll band. Like, in the sense that Lemmy went, we're Motorhead and we play rock and roll. And that's what I think we are. We have punky elements, we have sleazy elements, we have metal elements. And all of this is beginning to show now, rather than before it was here's Britain's version of social distortion, which is cool, but it's not what I wanted it to be. I want it to be more than that.
It's not all of what you are, yeah.
No. Like, well, you're missing so much. And I think, as Berty said earlier about the cover thing, it was like, no, we did a cover album because we wanted to give you value for money. We picked a bunch of random songs that we all liked that went from Bruce Springsteen to the Super Suckers. You know, it's like, yeah, we just thought bonus for you. Because we started playing the song live because, like, we could have easily filled the set up with 6 or 8 covers that we'd already done. But we're like, well, we have these original songs that we should do instead. And I like that.
Yeah.
More questions?
Right. Well, I'm going to let you go because I need to pour some wine. You're making me too jealous, but I have to sit and edit this now. So thank you very much for joining me, City Kids. You've been delightful.
No, thanks for having us. Absolute pleasure.
Yeah. And you're delightful as well.
And I oh, thanks very much. I'll have this ready for Friday night. You'll have a little half-hour sort of section with a couple of tracks, and I'll put in some chat. And then, as I say, I'll put this out on the YouTubes once I play it out in the radio.
Well, as you know now, the album's out, so you can play anything you want now.
Aye.
Yes. Indeed, I'm very excited. And what's even better is when I put it out on my Velvet Skies, I can play the sweary ones and not be curtailed to the radio edits. Doom.
Berty, she had all of the album before it came out. As soon as we had the mixes, went, which ones can I play? And I went, basically Self-Righteous, and that's it.
Oh, well, it pays to be patient. Can play it all now.
It does. If we can do anything for you at any point, you let me know, and we will.
Superb. Yes, well, I just need to get at least 2 of you into my live living room. You could do a very short acoustic set at some point when you're in Scotland.
Well, that'll never be Dennis because you know full well that he's very anti acoustic. But then again, if I bring Flying V acoustic up, I'll make it happen.
I knew you were going to say that.
Sounds awesome.
New acoustic album coming out.
Judith, do you have 2 acoustics?
All right, guys.
Have you got 2 acoustics up there?
Me, I've got 5 acoustics up here, and one's a rather nice slash red one. It's very pretty. It's my favourite.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
so let me know if you're in the area.
Nobody knows this, but Berty can play like about as many chords as me. So I reckon we could probably get me and Berty up and do an acoustic thing.
Easily.
Uh-huh. Well, that
And
would be
I-
amazing. Absolutely.
Either, so if you get this, it's going to be way more than exclusive. Get the beers in.
Well, that would be awesome. Oh, I do provide liquid refreshments. If you do my live living room, you get your own little rider. So
Do
and
we
it'll
get a
not be
bet?
Carlsberg.
Do we get a bet?
You might get a flare.
All right.
Right. Okay, guys. I will be in touch. And thank you so much for that again. All right.
No, lovely speaking to you again.
You take care.
What? Okay, I never know how to come out of this, so there'll be a minute of awkwardness while I try and find the button.
Awesome.
My mouse isn't even working anymore. I think that's it. Oh yeah. Okay, right. Bye guys. Bye-bye.
Awesome. See you later.
Ta-ra.
Bye.